and I was in fan by such and such and posted. I tried to send you a friend request, but it didn't go
I was wondering where that music came from.
Yeah, we're getting Catfish in German.
Right, I do this so that I can see the chat.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Nobody's joined in yet. Joe's not here. Fucking Joe.
Damn it, Joe! You had one job.
I was on the ball again, Joe.
So, are we live? Had the music stop?
We are live.
Okay, so hello, lads, lasses, and NB badasses. Welcome to another week. Remember, the week is official. Work week double so. We can get rid of if we really want to. This is just Alchemy, and like right now on the Alchemy bench is of course like me, Summer Geek, wearing straw hats, Shaban, and like Joey, and like the cat over
I'm
there.
a cat.
Well, no, yeah.
Oh, it's getting warm. I should change that over to a t-shirt.
Yeah. Okay, this is the one thing I just like don't like in spring. If I was like it's super cold in the morning, like almost near freezing. Sometimes I have to like bundle up and wear a hoodie and something like that. But then like once the sun comes up and peers through my window and it has like its rays on me, sometimes it gets hot and like I have to open up the window and like take off the hoodie. It's just like god damn, cold mornings and hot days. I don't like spring for this reason. Well, that's also my grass allergy as well too. So like and
you guys get stunned?
Wie ist das Wetter bei dir? Bei dir.
We actually have it's pretty sunny today. It's supposed to be sunny till about now, maybe a little later. And it's gonna be cloudy and rain the next few days.
It's a wrench.
Yay.
So how's
and the reason I just spoke German is because a German speaker tried to catfish me in German. Facebook's fucking weird.
Yes, Facebook's fucking weird. Isaiah, would you agree that Facebook is fucking weird?
I think it can be, but I think Reddit is weird. But I only dislike Reddit because they banned me for no reason.
Oh yeah.
They banned you
Yeah,
from
they
all
probably
Reddit
had a
or
reason.
just from a Reddit?
What now?
They banned you from all Reddit or just from a Reddit?
From all Reddit.
Oh wow.
It has.
Oh.
You need to tell me later what you did so I can go in and do it.
I think it happened either right before, right around the election. I think I posted something that may have it wasn't anything like offensive, like it wasn't racial or anything like that. I guess it was something that
Even though it's fine for you to hate white people, because a lot of us do suck, Isaiah.
it had nothing to do with hating white folks. I don't know what it was, but I know it was something that got me banned permanently.
Because after all, you don't hate all white folks.
I remember
you like white girls.
I remember one time on Messenger.
He even has a white friend.
I was talking to somebody in Messenger, not in open Facebook. This is, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. And we were talking about horror movies and stuff. That I liked horror movies and they liked horror movies and whatever, you know. And we were talking about serial killers. And I said, you know, what's always funny to me is one, I said, you know, in the movies, a serial killer, there's always somebody who trips and falls.
Mm-hmm.
There's a really good satire parody.
Yeah. Sorority girls can't run.
Right, you know, where and the killer's like, really? And the other I said is the demographic for serial killers, for people writing letters to serial killers in prison and trying to get relationships with them, you know, obviously long distance or virtual or whatever you want to call it, and then marrying them. And there's pretty much a high demographic for that. And they said, what's that? And I said, the melanin-free women. And I got like 60 seconds later, I didn't use those words. 60 seconds later, I get a messenger ban for 3 days.
Yeah.
I could post in Facebook. I could post in Facebook groups. I could react and whatever, but I couldn't fake.
White women love their crime podcasts.
Yeah. So I don't think I'll ever be able to get on Reddit ever again because you can't appeal a permanent ban, can you? Right?
Oh,
you can appeal.
I'm on Reddit. I don't hardly ever, but I am on Reddit.
Because I've tried to do it. They never rescinded it. And if you make other like Reddit accounts, they'll like ban you from those.
They'll ban those too. You're not allowed to get around a ban. I mean,
Yeah.
that's an obvious rule.
I've been trying to get banned on Quora, but they won't ban me so far. Because you always have these dumbass Republicans coming in the MAGA and saying,
That's redundant.
True. How come liberals don't understand that Trump is doing the economy better, or blah 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 blah? They're just trolling whatever.
Yeah,
And
the
I
Dow
do-
lost
and I
4,000
understand-
points in 5 hours because they're
Right,
doing a
and
great
I
job.
understand that they do have, the people who respond, liberals, leftists, whatever.
You just don't know how
Democrats, whatever, because
capitalism.
Those are not the same, by the way. Liberals, leftists, and Democrats are not.
Oh
the
yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Well, liberal. The problem is fascists fuck up words. So liberal kind of
Right.
means Democrat. Liberals
Yeah.
are definitely not leftists.
Agreed.
But they come in and they do all this trolling and stuff, and there's a lot of people on the left. I'll put it that way. There's a lot of people to the left of the Republicans, which
Yeah,
means
yeah.
Anybody
the
that
FBI
does not
hasn't
want
killed yet.
homeless for sport is lefty.
Yeah.
But they will respond, and they'll have like long lengthy response and whatever. I don't do all that shit. Fuck all that shit.
Yeah.
I just start out with their mom and go down from there.
Hey, go down on their mom. Yeah, I get
And it used to be called among my family years ago. We're talking like the 80s, early 80s. Okay, shut up, John. We're talking like the early 80s. Okay?
Hey,
And it
I was
used to
around
be-
in the early 80s.
Right.
I
It
mean, I
used to
was
be
I was
called,
crapping and crawling over places, but
later, like in the 90s, I think the late 90s, it was called the Dirty Dozens. Okay, or doing the dozens, and before
Yeah.
that, it used to be called signifying, which is cut
like
down
a rap battle in the street.
well, not rap, but cut down contest. Okay, and I'm
Yeah.
really, 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 really good at it.
Mhm.
So, like one guy,
Don't ask me a rap question because I don't know it.
Well, ask you a white girl question or like an Avril Lavigne question.
Is
instead.
there a white girl who raps?
Well,
I
blonde.
think it was.
Well,
Oh, look at that! We ended up to
one guy asked a question. We were working together in a dairy farm of all places, and we're working in the pit. So there's four of
That's
us.
Seoul,
and
Minnesota.
Steve. And so he said, "You want to get in a cut down contest?" His name is Keith. I said, "No, Keith, I don't want to do that." He said, "Why? Are you afraid?" I said, "No, because you'll get mad." "No, I won't." I said, "Look, I'm a Yankee. You're a Southerner. I can guarantee you that you'll get mad." "No, I won't." "Are you sure?" "Yeah." I said, "Okay, you want to go first? You want me to?" And he said, "You can go first." I said, "If you got a divorce from your wife, would she still be your sister?" He got mad.
Speaking of
That
dumbass
just
like
popped
Republicans.
right in my head. So
Speaking of dumbass Republicans, 25AD on one of my streams shared me this because he was listening to a podcast that was making fun of like Josh Hartley. He is a United States senator from Missouri, so Republican. It has a book on masculinity. Oh boy.
Oh
like-
shit!
Okay, but at least to his minimal credit, he does recognize that other cultures, like indigenous cultures, have like more than one genders. He just thinks those other genders are inferior. In fact, he referred to two-spirit folks as the village homosexual.
I have a question. Why do these people get so up in arms about gender? Why does this matter to these people so fucking much? I'm curious.
one, because they're dumbasses.
They're
Two,
insecure too.
because they're gullible. Three,
that.
because they're cult leaders, which is what Trump and others are. Trump, Jerry Falwell, whoever,
Yeah.
Lone Scum, whoever, have convinced them that we, especially trans folk and especially trans women, because, there aren't any other trans people, because you don't have trans men in your porn stats, right? So we trans women are responsible for all the ills of society. And therefore, if they get rid of us, everything will be beachy and keen and we'll have flying cars and everything else, which is the same fucking thing that they did to the Jews in 1938 and 1940.
Well, see,
And
okay,
I
so
think there's a splitters versus lumpers thing. We want categories. We need to understand the world. And
Us versus them, yeah.
yeah, and some people want big categories that are simple, and those are the lumpers. They lump everything together, and some people are fine with fine gradations. They want very, very, very precise definitions, and I think Republicans are just extreme lumpers. Isaiah.
yeah, well, because I asked the question because there was something else that was kind of similar to this. I'm trying to remember what this was. And I don't remember what I was trying to connect this to.
men, what's wrong with men, of like a masculinity and that sort of thing too?
No, it has something else that people were getting all, I don't know. Come back. I'll come back. It'll probably come back when I remember it again.
Right. So like, hey, but yeah. So 255, the kind of also shares that like how Josh Harley kind of like has a very capitalist way of thinking that like those productive societies are not really productive. We'll just like throw
Oh,
away for the white side.
I
Okay,
remember what it was. I
go
remember.
ahead.
Sorry, John. Sorry, Jonathan. Excuse me.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, it was when RFK made that
Oh yeah.
comment about autistic people who can't drive.
Oh yeah.
They
Can't go
can't.
to the bathroom by themselves.
Yeah. But I
It
but
penalizes them. Yeah.
but the part that really got me when every doctor says shit like this is they can't date,
RK, not a doctor.
they can't have a house, and I'm just like, you're saving me from like thousands of dollars of debt. You do realize that, right? People go in debt trying to drive. They go in debt with marriage. They go in debt with trying to get a house.
And
So
God forbid they get divorced.
yeah, you're saving me a lot of money by trying to dehumanize me. I don't know if you caught on to that, but
And
yeah.
here's the thing too, is that Kamala Harris was talking during the campaign about a plan where, and I think it was an income tax thing. It wasn't just like handing you money, but where she would grant the government, not she, the government would grant people $25,000 tax cutoff or tax relief for
The
buying
majority
a
of
brand
people
new
would not
house.
benefit from that. Just
Right. I understand that, but yeah, because you have to have the credit and blah 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 and all that stuff. Just yeah.
no, because most people don't get nobody pays $25,000 in taxes. That's the 1%.
No. You don't understand. That's an additional deduction on whatever you're going to use as a deduction for the house for that first year. See, you can take. Let's say I buy a house on January 1st. Okay, the following January 1st or thereafter, I can claim that entire cost of the house plus any subsequent costs that are in buying the house, like realtor's fees or whatever, off on my taxes. Okay, and again, you're right as far as it's only people who are able to do that that can claim that on their taxes. But you can only do it a one-time thing. Also, it's not like you can do it every year. What the hell does that mean? I wanted to show a meme. I'm trying to find it.
Yeah, I made it possible for everyone to share. You can.
Yeah, John hit it on me. I know he did.
Mhm.
It's either that or the cyborg weakness.
Yeah, so I'm a genius hacker. I hacked all your computers and hid your memes.
We can always really break
Also,
down
when you
for,
put
like,
something down in a room and you can't remember where you put it, that's me.
The only thing you're going to find on mine is porn, digital art, and music. So,
Okay, yeah. I thought that was also the underpants gnomes. It also takes our socks as well too, or those sock gnomes as well too.
cyborg weasels, I'm telling you, they're bastards.
Hey, dude,
I steal the socks out your dryer. I steal underpants out your drawer. Not because I'm a pervert, just because I'm a dick.
Yeah, what were you saying, Isaiah?
no, I was asking, does anyone in here do like model rockets? Because I'm starting to get into that.
No, but I want.
I used to as a teenager.
That was cool though.
I'm making my own. This is my Titan Gemini.
Oh, nice! Yeah, you mentioned this last time too.
I gotta put fins though, because it won't be able to fly without fins. So
Right.
I have to design. So they're gonna be like clear plastic fins, so it doesn't take away from the aesthetics of what the actual Titan looks like. So yeah, I'm gonna do that. So I'm just debating on what kind of fins to build because there's different kinds of rocket fins out there.
Yeah.
So RFK, some of us autistic people are pretty smart. Well,
yeah. Just smart in different ways as well too. I'll make sure to remind you, Isaiah, to share that at like the C-Chat's Patreon hangout, even though you probably will remember as well too. And also
I wanted to ask you, Isaiah, are you talking about the rockets that are when you say model rockets, are you talking about you piece of crap? Are you talking about model rockets that are just model rockets you look at, or are you talking about model rockets that you can shoot up?
You can shoot up. See, I got
There
this.
you go. Yeah. See, that's what I did. That's why I wanted to make
Yes.
sure.
Yeah, because
Nice.
I got this one the other day. I got this in the mail, so
Mhm.
yeah.
So I've got a story.
Mhm.
I was an infant for this. I don't actually remember it, but one day my dad was reading the paper. It was a weekend. My older brother Adam comes running up out of the basement, white as a sheet. Looks around wildly, runs to the closet, grabs the vacuum cleaner, runs back down in the basement.
Okay.
My dad has 4 sons at this point. He knows they don't randomly get a wild need to vacuum.
Right.
He folds the newspaper, goes downstairs. My brother Adam's waving the hose around in the air because it's full of white smoke. Because we'd gotten into model rocketry. And the thing about model rockets is, the thing about model rockets is they get lit up by a battery, basically. And so my brother Adam, he figured, well, if you can let it off with a battery, why not the electricity out the wall?
Oh!
So he pulled the cord out of a lamp, split the ends, and yeah, you can light it off with the cord out the wall.
Recommend this. I wouldn't recommend that.
No, you should not do that.
I have a model rocket engine actually right here.
Yeah.
This is a D scale.
Love that
Nice.
participation from-
Nice.
But yes, I love the meme. Man,
I
we need
do
women
like
to
the meme.
stop dating bad guys and choose better women. Okay, and choose other women. The guy,
And let's see, it looks like it goes from the trans flag to the bi flag?
the lesbian flag.
Lesbian flag, okay.
So trans lesbian, yes.
Yeah, that's right. The bi flag is purple. Pink and purple.
Yeah,
It's
red,
different
blue, and
shades.
purple.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the lesbian flag. I also like trans flag, but the bi flag is also like quite cool for us as well too. Even though it's like a very dark hue as well that as well too. So like yeah, and you know what that like relates to like the way you say it, Isaiah?
No, I was saying that kind of remind me of the EM spectrum, that the way that
Yeah.
transitions into the other one.
Oh yeah. It's always cool like that. But that kind of reminds me of another topic I wanted to bring up because like this is like the Kane 20C, who's a viewer of mine, a viewer sees us, but they're cool. The viewer of like Leonard Quinn as well too. Kind of just like randomly
Yeah,
asked.
no, they're liberals, but they're okay.
This actually Kane I think is like more leftist as well too, at least a progressive as well too. But anyway, Kane 20C just asked, "What's wrong with young men?" Which is the general question we have all like has like, what's wrong with young men as well too? And
I can kind of like, so growing up, I mean, I don't know, because so much of what young men are doing is kind of reprehensible, so I can't
Well,
really.
shitty men made a shitty world that makes more men shitty.
Yeah. Well, cause see, like I didn't have the best male role models either,
Mhm.
but I never went down. I never used my experiences growing up as like, oh, I'm gonna vote for the manosphere.
yeah.
Maybe that's because I had a lot of women that came into my life to help me.
Mhm.
So maybe that could have
There are
been
worse
it.
things you can do than listen to women.
Mhm.
As long as they're not Karens.
Well,
Listen to Joe Rogan. That's a lot worse.
Yeah, you get. Oh God, Joe Rogan. But like that kind of reminds me of how like I used to live in Loveline, and one of the calls that the men would call in, they would kind of want to know how can they make their penis bigger as well too. There is a surgery, but like it's
Loveline with
risky.
Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew.
And Dr. Drew Pin. Yeah, I listen. This is a long time ago. Don't listen to
No,
them
it was
recently.
25 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Adam
But,
Carolla,
like,
piece of shit. Dr. Drew, probably kind of okay.
I wish he was better though. I haven't listened to him recently. He's has some libertarian politics though, as in like no taxes
so not
libertarian.
so okay.
And he's also selling some bullshit diet thing too. So
Oh,
Okay, definitely not okay.
But-
Fuck him.
as I said, I'll listen to him on addiction medicine, and that's about it. But like at least like doctor's kind of like correct when he like gets these young men calls. Oh, my penis is so big, I need it bigger, bigger. Okay, where are you in life? Are you satisfied with your career? Are you satisfied with like your family? Are you good on your family relationships? Good with those sort of things. So he kind of points out that like guys that like are preoccupied by their manhood, their inadequacies, are just inadequate in life in general. But
They're
just
unhappy in life.
yeah,
in
they're
general.
unhappy.
Not,
in
but
general.
shouldn't say it's inadequate.
Yeah.
People don't do anything wrong. The deck's stacked against you.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. So, but that kind of like got me curious, and I mentioned this to Shaban when she was watching one of my streams. It's like, well, do women have a similar issue as well too? Obviously, I'm not women, but like, to Shaban or others in the chat as well too. Like, what
Where they compare their own body parts to each other?
or have other
Is that what you're
inadequacies?
asking?
Well, do women are also preoccupied as something else, like or something similar that like men get preoccupied with as well too? Men are
Well, not so much that men exactly get the exact same thing as
Right.
that a bodily
Body
'cause
image
when,
issues are
when
big.
Geek and I were talking about it, a bodily issue,
Mhm.
body image issue, or a self-image issue.
yeah,
And
one of those things.
like I told him, it is replete with it. Look at the women's magazines. On the same cover, you'll have, you can make this lasagna to make your man happy, and da 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 da. And then right next to it will be, you can lose 30 pounds in 30 days.
Oh yeah.
It's like
I remember a thing Dove did 15 years ago.
Stanhope?
No, it was
Their soap company.
Soap, yeah, the soap company. But they also make beauty
I thought
products.
you said Doug. Okay, sorry, never mind.
Dove.
Yeah.
It was a video. It's like a beautiful woman walks in, she sits down, and then we get the thing where they speed up the photo, speed up the video. And we see her get put through an intense makeup process. They do up her hair, they do all that stuff.
I remember that one.
And then they take the photo, and then it switches over to the computer, and we see the intense Photoshop, hours of Photoshop to make her. So like she was a beautiful woman, then they make her like the extreme of what's realistically possible with makeup and art and so on, and then they put her in the computer to make her beyond impossible. Like they make her neck longer, they make her shoulders narrower, they make her they change the color of her eyes, they clear up all the blemishes, they reposition her eyes and eyebrows and so on. It's like eugenics. And then we finally get the image on the page. And
So first of all, you're gonna like what a lot of people. This has gone around before, but what a lot of people don't realize, for example, that Marilyn Monroe, the sex goddess of that time frame, was a size 16.
yeah, she would have been fat by Hollywood standards
Yeah,
today.
which in women's sizes today is a 2X or a 3X. Okay.
She was a curvy woman.
Yeah.
She was like
or you'll
Christina
see, or you'll
Hendricks.
see plus size stuff, because I'm obviously a plus size and I ain't little. You'll see plus size stuff, but it will be, by plus size you mean big boobs and big butt and small waist.
Yeah.
Okay. Not always. Like Lane Bryant is
Hollywood
one,
doesn't have apple-shaped women.
What about
there's
Jane
a few
Mansfield?
others.
Jane Mansfield?
Jane Mansfield is another one. Yeah. Then you had, what was her name? Twiggy. Okay.
Heroin
in the
chic.
70s. Yeah, exactly. What was that model's name too that came from? Was it
Twiggy McGee.
No, it wasn't that's an actress. It was a model. It was Kate, not Kate.
Kate. Oh, I know she was on an episode of Family Guy.
Yeah, but anyway, she's like literally you could see her ribs, okay, and count them, and I got more kit on my nose than she had on her body, and I'm not saying
Kate Moss.
Has to have, boobs. Moss, yes, there you go.
Kate
Thank
Moss,
you.
yeah.
And I'm not saying
I looked up heroin
chic.
chic, and she's literally the picture for the Wikipedia article.
Right, exactly. So we get suffered through that, and then we also get suffered through you need to know how to cook, and one of the groups that I belong to on Facebook, which is absolutely hilarious, because I mentioned this before. Geek knows it. If you work in retail,
Oh yes.
we talk about you.
Yes.
in the back room, in the break room, or in the back room by the, like, if you're, for example, if you worked at Walmart, which I did, by the baler in the back room, inside the produce cooler, whatever, we run our mouths about you customers. Okay, not all the time, obviously. And there's a lot of customers.
It's just the 10% that like annoy us. The 90% of us are just cool. It's just like,
a lot of customers are really good. For our local store, because I live in a small town, they're regulars. They know me. I haven't worked there in 3 years. Almost December will be 3 years, and they still, when they see me, they wave. Some of them will come up and give me a hug. Hi, how you doing? Or I haven't seen you in a little while, or whatever.
Oh my
And
God!
then,
Did you have
that
friends?
small section of people that, like I said, we talk about. I've seen a supervisor literally get punched right in the middle of his chest. As maintenance, I've had to clean up human shit off of a floor in the aisle. Yeah, so we talk about you, and I don't remember why you fucking brought that up.
I mean, it's just part of this immense cultural pressure people face, and men get it. I mean, the men on the covers of the men's health magazines. The impossible body shape. They have to starve themselves for days in order to get
abs, and men get it too. And what men don't realize,
but men get it in a different way than women. I do want to say that.
Patriarchy hurts them too.
Yep. Agreed. Yes, exactly.
Look at how many men a year unalive themselves. Okay, and
it's like those terrible Reddits where they're literally taking a hammer and chisel to their faces trying to reshape them.
And the stigma involved in women do that too, but the stigma involved in reaching out for therapy or anything.
Yeah.
Why would you do that? Why are you weak?
Oh, I know someone that thinks that, like, what, saying and talking to someone and it's going to solve all my world's problems. How's that going to fix things? And yet he asked, this same person asked me, he's like, okay, I haven't seen my daughter in a while since my grandson, her son passed. I don't know how to deal with that. And it's like, I pointed out to the person, you're asking the question you normally would ask the therapist, and yet you're going to ask me, and yet you don't trust therapists for some reason. But that he's just an example as well too. And don't worry, I'm not shitting on you.
And in regards to your issue about fixing things, aside from the fact that the American health industry thinks I had really good insurance, comparatively speaking, for the area. Excuse me, when I worked as an ER technician at the local hospital, and they paid for therapy all right, 10 sessions, because everything is fixed in 10 sessions, right?
Oh yeah. After 2.5 months, you're good.
Right, exactly. I've been in therapy for.
You've been fucked up for 40 years, 10 weeks.
I dipped in and out of it before, but I've been in therapy on a regular basis every week for about a year. My problems don't go away. My problems are always there. They're always going to be there. One of which is depression. I've said this to Geek. I've said this to John. I think Isaiah too. And I know I've said it to Indigenous when that part in the movie of the Avengers, which great movie by the way, love popcorn films. But that part of the movie in the Avengers where Captain America, he's sending everybody to do this and that, whatever, and he sends David Ruffalo, Dr. Banner.
Mark Ruffalo,
big badass space snake that's chasing the Iron Man. By the way, much of seeing the Iron Man dies, I cried my ass off. So he's walking towards the snake, and he says, "Hey, Dr. Banner, now would be a good time to get mad." And
that's my secret, Cap.
No, excuse me. Now would be a good time to get angry. And he said, "That's my secret, Cap. I'm always angry. I'm always depressed, 24/7. I don't care what meds you take.
You got a problem. It's going to keep on going. You're gay. You're always going to be gay."
A really good therapist years ago told me that if you
gay's
take
not a problem. The way people would treat gay.
If you look at your therapy, here it is. If you look at your depression, if you take imagine this is a tennis ball canister.
Okay, yeah.
Tennis ball inside it and cap it. Okay, you can put pretty ribbons around it. You can spray, you can put glitter on it. You can do whatever you want, but that tennis ball is still going to be inside that container. Learn how to deal with it, how to cope with it, and it sucks a lot of times. So now imagine that you're a man in this society, and you're told, "Oh, you can't do that. You're weak," or and not just for like your friends, family, whatever. Okay, but religious organizations do the same thing.
Oh yes, the devil's tempting you.
Alcoholics Anonymous. Fuck that shit.
Yeah.
It's placebo with extra steps and side effects because it's religious bullshit.
Yeah. There's a lot of religious bullshit in alcohol.
We have medicine
no,
now. You can get actual help.
right. Also, like, my best friend, like, he went off to like visit his like aunts and uncles who were like very Christian, and then my friend came back as a born again Christian. And if he's like fine religion, I don't care. It's like that's his personal faith. But the one thing that I really like, no, my best friend, no, listen. He never said exactly what kind of thoughts he have had, but I'm assuming he's like, oh, he's autistic and ADHD, so he has intrusive thoughts. We all have intrusive thoughts, but that's what he doesn't know. That like we all have intrusive thoughts.
They can be disturbing.
They can be disturbing, and I was just thinking, me like, why would hell would I do that? I don't want to do that. No, that's like, no, I don't want to do that. But his aunts and uncles was telling him that's the devil tempting you.
Yep.
And it's just like, no, it's like whether or not he says so, like Christian or not, he didn't because his mom died and he blamed Scott for that. So he became atheist after that. But
He needs therapy.
No, I agree. And like, this was years ago, and like, he's my best friend, and I was close to his mom too. So it's like, it was actually legitimately sad that she died of cancer as well too. But like, it's like,
It's only sometimes sad when somebody's mom's died.
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes.
But no, I really want to like make sure it's like, no, my best friend is okay to you can have those thoughts, but that's not the devil tempting you. But what's also bizarre is that like because he's Christian again, he cannot play demonic games or watch demonic shows, which like made it really funny when like I remember this. As my oldest brother answered the phone, my best friend was calling for me. He's like, but then, oh hey, since you know anime, is this anime like demonic as well too? It's like, to which my oldest brother screamed at him, yes, that anime happens to be demonic. It is called Devilman.
Isaiah, you had your hand up for a while there.
I was saying that I never like whenever I saw that stuff in like men's magazine, I always laughed at it because I knew that I knew that it was all bullshit.
Yeah.
Even when I first saw it, I was like, this is silly.
I mean, the thing is, actors, models, they have to starve themselves. They're miserable. They're in pain for days in order to be able to do that. Like Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. He can't do that much anymore. He's like over 50.
Right.
And
also to get those like shots of like him like all ripped out and muscly, he's holding like 40-pound bags on like chains as well and that, so that like that's his muscles actually working to like hold something heavy in his arms and like that. But
I wish more men just understood that this shit is not real and that
the thing is, a lot of people don't know that.
you're in a parody.
We're swimming in a sea of lies, and you accept it.
And you know, okay, so getting back to therapy, I actually be a therapist. This is a therapist that's a woman, a person of color, and she's worked with autistic people before. I didn't have my own problems. That's basically what it is. But you know, I mean, therapy is good, and
not all therapy.
not all therapy is good.
Therapy.
No, I meant your description of what therapy is.
Yeah.
Some of it is, yeah.
But what also helped me a lot was I also just do gummies now, like THC gummies, so that's helped.
And it's 420. It's 420 on Easter too.
I mean, drugs ain't the best way to do it, but
right.
Like I've seen all kinds of memes last night said, remember to leave out milk and cookies for Willie Nelson. Also, but
he has the munchies. He will really have the munchies.
One of the pages that I follow on Facebook, which y'all should follow, is a phenomenal page. She's a really cool person. Her page is called Uppity Negress Redux, REDUX. Okay, and they had a long discussion the other day, and I gave a heart reaction on it and read it, and then just shut my fucking mouth and post on it. But they gave
Sure, you're a white woman.
Are
you sure you're a white woman?
She's not a Karen. That's the thing.
Anyway, gave a long description about what Isaiah was talking about. The fact that, you know, when you have a black therapist, if you're a black individual, regardless of gender, sex, whatever, if you have a black therapist, there's at least that one step closer. You can understand a lot of stuff, because I don't care how many schools you go to, how many classes you go to, how many books you read, how many people you talk to. If you're white, you just can't understand from the
Yep.
black point of view. Period.
Because it's all day, every day. It's getting
Right.
followed around in stores.
And like, for
it's getting
example,
pulled over
with
twice
trans
a week.
people, okay, with trans people, I could, to some extent, hide. Okay, I could cut my hair, I could cover my tits up, I could do whatever, take nail polish off, whatever. Okay, Isaiah can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
He's just, you know, the first thing that people see when they see him, you know, if it's like a police report, you know, he's walking down the street or something, a black man, that's the first thing they'll say.
Yep. Or if, like,
So
if you're
when
being autistic.
when you have a therapist who is able to
See someone
understand
driving
you
a sports
on
car.
visceral
A
level,
white kid driving a
makes a
sports
big
car is spoiled. A black kid driving a sports car is a drug dealer.
right?
Yeah.
It makes a difference, and the same for me. You know, the particular therapist that I have is queer. She's not trans, but it's as close as I'm going to get in this area. You know, and she does understand a lot of issues that I bring to her.
Right.
You know, so I'm okay with that. I would prefer a trans woman, not just a trans therapist, a trans woman who is a therapist. But obviously, I can't just pick and choose. So,
Yeah.
You can with BetterHelp.
I agree with Isaiah completely.
My friend Lidoquin, who's like a trans femme non-binary as well too, like any pronouns except for he him, and it's like they're not a man. They had a therapist. There's a keyword there because they said I never thought that non-binary were real. I thought there was like something wrong with them as well too. But I meet you now, you're non-binary, and it's like no, yeah, like I can believe that.
You're
like,
just learning that I'm a person. Oh,
yes, exactly. So again, that's why they had a therapist like that.
Yeah.
And I mean, the thing is, it's like food deserts. You can live in a therapy desert. It can be hard to get a therapist who lines up with what you need.
Yeah, well, it's also to like the healthcare system in. What are you about to say, Isaiah? Go ahead.
I was saying because my last therapist was, well, my first one before I found the one that I have was a Indian guy. And by Indian, I don't mean like
East Indian, right? Like from like the country India.
The actual India.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I didn't mean to like say something that was like a slur to Joey's people, but so he was from the country of India. The other one was a white woman who just didn't get it at all. And now I got the one now that I talk to. So you got to find.
It's okay to switch doctors.
Go ahead, Joey.
There's not too many therapists in my area. And so I kind of have to have the one that I have. And I'm lucky that she takes Medicaid. Like that's as lucky as I get.
Yeah.
It's sad that being healthy requires money.
Oh yeah.
You know, a lot of people will, you know, a lot of therapists do sliding scale, but some don't. And even if it's a sliding scale, and you know, I therapists should get paid for what they do.
Yes.
You know,
they deserve to live. They're people.
Agreed. Yeah.
Some of them.
Yeah. Then George RP, he said, like, had several therapists in the past that told me they couldn't help me because I was trans, and it's just like, now.
I mean, was that
could be?
Was that them refusing to help you, or was that them acknowledging that they didn't have the knowledge to help you?
Right.
That's a good point. That's
an important context.
Because one's a piece of shit, and the other is a decent person who recognizes that they don't have the skills.
Right.
They have limitations in like how they can help them. But like that kind of like the accessibility to therapy, because also reminds me of how friend of the show Tabby Wolf is my friend. She looked into like, okay, if I were to, this is back under Biden, but like, so the things might be different, of course. But if I were to like actually like look into the like the disability benefits program in the state of like New Jersey as well too, to like have subsidized home housings, have subsidized things, have subsidized. The only place that for subsidized housing for disabled people is like way out in the sticks as well too, so far away in a very cheap place to like rent. And the services like Medicaid and Medicare services, most of them are like in the city. So it's kind of like you can have subsidized housing.
So you know, and the
damned if you do and damned if you don't.
Yeah, because like living out the sticks with subsidized housing, so like you save on rent because you have no rent, ideally or hopefully, but you still have to like have some sort of transportation to the services in the city for Medicare and Medicaid, or like bus there, but busing in America is like just luckily you can get from like one point to another.
There are, like I said, I live in a small town. There are 2 dentists. There are like 7 or 8 dentists in this town. There are 2 that take Medicaid/Medicare, and I do have an appointment with them. It's December
Oh,
because they're
Jeez.
so
is that,
busy.
is,
because
that
they're
can't
one
be,
of
I'm
only
guessing
few.
it's not just for routine cleaning, though.
No, I'm in
Okay,
dental.
okay.
Jones RP said like both skills, and one told me that they
And I
just
gotta
don't
say,
like
a lot of bigots are gonna hide behind saying, "Oh, I just don't have the skills for that." Sort of like, "Oh, but what about the children?" I mean, I don't have a problem with a mixed race marriage, but what about the children?
I'm getting ready to go, but can I switch this to political for just a second?
Oh,
Oh,
absolutely. Yeah.
no, we can't do
So
political.
I want to read to you.
Well, John, you should have said, "What about the chillin'?"
I want to read to you what the orange shit gibbon said to America as his Easter message. Okay.
Oh,
So,
no.
as y'all know, I'm not a Christian, duh.
Mhm.
And in this context, I'm not only not criticizing Christians, I'm not criticizing the religion itself. I'm just an observation. I'm not a Christian. However, I was for 30 years. Okay. This kind of stuff. Okay. So if he said the first sentence and the last sentence, would have been great. But he can't do that.
He's just a douche.
Happy Easter to all, including the radical left lunatics who are fighting and scheming so hard to bring murderers, drug lords, and of course random capitalization, dangerous prisoners, and mentally insane and well-known MS-13 gang members and wife beaters. Pause. Pam Bondi said that anyone who says fuck Trump needs to get prosecuted. Anyway, back into our country. Happy Easter also to the weak and ineffective judges and law enforcement officials who are allowing this sinister attack on our nation to continue. An attack so violent it will never be forgotten. Sleepy Joe Biden.
Good Lord.
Isn't that shit? Yeah. Purposely allowed millions of criminals to enter our country, totally unvetted and unchecked through an open borders policy that will go down in history as the single most calamitous act ever perpetrated upon America. I think he didn't write this. I think whoever wrote this is doing random capitalizations like that.
No, the thing is, his favorite book.
Everything in here is spelled correctly. There's no way he wrote this.
But I mean, the thing is, his favorite book is Mein Kampf.
Right.
And in German, you capitalize all
by
nouns.
far our worst and most incompetent president, a man who had absolutely no idea what he was doing.
Jesus Christ, it's still going.
But to him and to the person that ran and manipulated the auto pen, not sure what the fuck that is, perhaps our real president, and to all the people who cheated in the 2020 presidential election in order to get this highly destructive M word, which is a slur for mentally challenged people.
Wait, what?
Elected. I wish you with great love, sincerity, and affection a very happy Easter. Fuck you.
What? I want to know what he's.
Yeah, I don't know what the M word is, but I mean, I'm not going to ask you to say it. I'm just going to Google the president's Easter address.
It means the same thing as the R word.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I get that. I'm just wondering.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what the actual word is. I can't.
5-letter word.
I mean, I'm a Southerner. I should know all the slurs.
Hey, I didn't know what.
Oh, but believe me, that's
what
another thing too. It's just as bad up here. Okay, I'm going to read a very short story to you, and then I'm out.
Sure.
I went through the same shit. I would move down to Oklahoma. I moved down to Oklahoma where all people talk like this. Okay, similar. That's more of a Texas thing, but anyway. So I moved down to Oklahoma, and I was working at the local dairy farm. And we were 2 days on, 2 days off. Well, they had a local gas station that had like a little coffee shop. It had 8 tables you could sit at and drink coffee. So all the old retired guys would come in and, on a Sunday morning or whatever and drink coffee. And I was sitting there drinking coffee, reading a newspaper, which tells you how far back this was. And one of the guys was talking, and he happened to mention something about goats. And I asked him, and I didn't want to butt in, but at one point I asked him, I said, do you raise goats? He said, oh, yeah, I raise goats. I'm retired to raise goats. I said, oh, I would love to do it. I said, if you ever have anybody, I said, I work at Browns. If you ever have anybody who needs help, if you need help on your farm or something. So he come over and he sit down in my booth. They have like the 50s diner style booths. And we're talking. He's talking about goats. He's got that deep accent. And I, just like almost the rest of America, I conflated that with lesser knowledge, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. And I said, so you retired? And he goes, yeah. And I said, what did you used to do? he said for 50 years I was one of the IBM mainframe programmers. That motherfucker had more knowledge in his half of his little pinky than I've ever had in my entire life about computers. So it isn't just
Did he work on the Apollo? Did he work on the
fuck up
moon?
just as much. So I'm gonna head out. My gaming stream starts here in a little bit. It's on YouTube. It's on Twitch.
Before you run, Shaban, did he work on the Apollo moon program?
That I don't know. I didn't ask him. He might have. I didn't ask him. That would be cool if he did. It's on YouTube. It is the Existential Cafe N Gaming. On Twitch, it's the Existential Cafe N Gaming. There's an underscore in between each one. I'm going to play in what the fuck was that game?
Stable?
Genesis Noir. It's like a really weird art, but it looks like a really cool art style. And it's a point and click adventure, whatever. It's got some great music, like noir, 40s, 50s music and whatever. I'm on Blue Sky's The Angry Wrench. I'm on Blue Sky's the Existential Cafe, my comic strip, whatever. So where the hell is my thing next to my thing by my thing? Whatever. Anyway, I'll just log out through here. Okay. So thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Y'all have a great day.
Bye, Siobhan.
Bye. So yes, I did put the Existential Cafe Twitch channel down in the live chat right there, and like I also
it's a very
the
Slenderman aesthetic. For Genesis Noir.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Just don't go out and kill people because of some.
Yeah, exactly.
Remember that when that happened?
No, I actually don't remember that.
Oh, the Slenderman stabbing. Those two girls went out and tried to kill their friend because they thought told them to do it.
Just like the kids who killed people because of Mortal Kombat. You know, some kids are messed up, and that sucks. It's not the thing; it's the kids.
Marilyn Manson. It's Marilyn Manson's fault.
Yeah, like after Columbine happened, people blame Marilyn Manson, and it's just like they just assumed that
it's not video games, it's not music, it's white supremacy.
It's goth.
Yeah, I agree. But it came out later that the Columbine kids were not fans of Marilyn Manson whatsoever. id Software did actually receive death threats because of like their connection. But again, it's just like the Columbine kids just happened to use the Doom engine to like plot out their like
there was a raid that they were into. I forgot what the name was, but it was
Rammstein?
No, it's
KMFDM.
Yeah, that one. And every
they're good. They're a good band. I have one of their albums. And no, they're counterculture. They ain't Nazis. They ain't killers.
But yeah, I agree. That's just like we can't just easily like fault the like what happened to these good, fine, proper young men. It's like the music they're to listen to, the video games they play. No. It's just society and the other issues as well too. And
sometimes young men are fucked up.
Oh yes, I agree. Yeah, and but like we gotta like there's gotta be help that needs to like happen, intervene at that point. And sometimes like we gotta like be able to like at least offer or show them or like make it acceptable to like seek help for mental health for that sort of thing too. But that's
I mean, we live in a world where there's a school shooting every week in the U.S.
Yeah,
and where the media doesn't report that.
Yeah. John P said, this Easter got me thinking, whatever happened to all the transphobes last year that were complaining about Easter falling on trans day visibility? Funny, isn't it like all quiet this year? Yeah, Easter's falling on like 420, and yet like I bet there'll be some Christians that will complain about that. But yeah, so like I don't know if
devil's legs.
I was celebrating Easter by watching the Star Trek movie Genesis trilogy. So Wrath of Khan Wrath of Khan to the end of Voyage Home, and basically it's the redemption story of Jesus. There's
with Spock.
Spock dies and comes back 3 movies later.
And he's Jewish. I don't know if he's a carpenter or not, but you know.
You know what? I don't know if like Leonard Nimoy is a carpenter as well too. But yes, he is Jewish.
What?
Was yes, he passed away. Yeah, very tragic. It's tragic. But yeah, so,
William Shatner finally bites it. What's going to happen then? How
hey,
many?
you know what? You know
how
what? I
many-
used to thought that the world would stop because, oh my God, William Shatner is gone. But now I'm thinking, no, the rest of the
The
world's
world
gonna
would be a
on.
slightly better place.
Come on, guys.
I mean, the Star Trek fans will like miss their Captain Kirk as well too. But William Shatner
But
as a
the
person,
fact is, Star Trek fans are well aware that Captain Kirk is a jackass.
yes, Captain Kirk himself is a jackass as well too. I think even William Shatner kind of admits to that. My God, the women every week they kiss.
So it's like, but I'm wondering like when Captain Kirk finally like when Captain Kirk died in Generations, how many like baby mamas across the galaxy were like trying to like claim his like great because
Steve Shives did a video on this. Captain Kirk only hooked up like 3 times. He's no Willie Riker.
That's is the interesting thing is like because like yeah, I think like I heard somewhere that like
trans episode.
yes yeah that like when Gene Roddenberry got the chance to like do Star Trek again with TNG, that like he split some of those characters on like 2 different lanes. Like the Captain Kirk is split into like Jean-Luc Picard and Will Riker. Jean-Luc Picard, the captain's captor, and Will Riker, of course, the ladies' man as well too.
Captain, not Captor.
And then Spock, the logical like person with from an alien perspective, is split into like Data, the person who observes humans and from a logical perspective, and a Worf, the person who observes human from like alien perspective as well too. Yeah,
I mean, bigger budget, bigger show, you get to do more. Yeah,
yeah, you get to do more.
you don't just have the 3 people and then the bridge
yeah.
buddy.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what Roddenberry called them.
Yeah.
Oh, the Bridge Bunny? That okay.
Yeah, the Snow Bunny is either she likes skiing or she likes hockey players.
Jimmy, you're a creep. You're a creep.
Yep, Gene Roddenberry is a great for sure. There's like a good thing he never went through.
He did his best, but he was from a time, and he wrote propaganda. He made a cop show.
True.
Doing your best don't mean much when you're coming from that far right.
Yeah, which it's kind of funny that like someone asked me, like I mentioned Star Trek just because like Brandon started playing like Fortnite with this person that I never met before. Okay, you're a Star Trek fan, yeah. Okay, Captain Kirk or Jean-Luc Picard? Ben Sisko.
Yep.
Yeah.
The calm dad.
Well, remember Ben Sisko lost his wife like in the first
Like 5 days before the first show with that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean Ben Sisko, he's a secret badass.
I mean, he's the Sidney Poitier of the Star Trek universe. Let's be honest.
That's one way.
That's the one way to put it. Definitely. Yeah, for sure. So, what else has happened this week as well too?
While we try to think of something else to talk about, I want to point out we were talking about men's insecurities, body image issues. The 2 most insecure men in the world are in charge of the U.S. right now, and they are both hiding their stuff. Trump is bald. That's why his hair does that, and he's hiding that. Yeah, his one of his wives, I don't remember which. I think it was the first one. Recommended a doctor who could do a surgery, and then it didn't work, and he bad things to her. So now he just has that double come over.
Yeah,
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk, because like he's like wants to like have as many children as much as possible that he wants.
He's had women by children via surrogacy. It's
yes,
and he has hair plugs, and he's gotten reconstruction on his jawline. He's had transmask surgery.
Yes, gender affirming surgery. Yes, exactly.
I mean, so insecure, so destructive, so hiding everything. Me, I'm gonna be bald till the day I die, and I'm just gonna live with that.
I did have like male pattern baldness as well too, because I got it from my mom's dad for sure, and my mom's mom also had male pattern and baldness gene as well too. So that's part of the reason
You're
the
double
long hair. Yes, and part of the reason the hats as well too, because like I know I'm going to go bald, but I don't care. I'll have the long hair as well too. My mom does see me as the person that is like balding on top, but still have the long flowing locks as well too, the artist type as well too. But also the hat collection, because why not?
What more other things to talk about? Your boy almost got killed the other day.
Holy crap.
There was a mass shooting in Tallahassee. You guys didn't hear the story?
No, the news doesn't report on mass shootings anymore. They're just too common.
And
Dog bites
FSU,
man ain't news.
there was a mass shooting at Florida State University. That's the school where I work.
Jesus.
Well, yeah. It's again, it's like
Was it a lone wolf, a white boy who had no connections to anything?
Yep, his
It
mom.
was actually,
His mom was a sheriff deputy.
yeah, son of a deputy.
Yeah.
Oh, son of a cop.
A Klansman, a Nazi.
He espoused fascist idea. He was actually kicked out of the other college here,
Oh wow.
having like fascist ideations or whatever.
Oh, this guy gonna have a manifesto as well too, because I don't think this guy.
I don't think he had one.
Hey, Southern
but-
folk can't write.
Some of them can't. At least like white Southern folk can't.
Used to
white
be
Southern man.
2/3 of them could.
Yes. Which again reminds me because
I'm glad you're safe, Isaiah.
But yeah, no, I glad you're safe as well too, because like, and now I would not.
You guys would have lost your only outside of Owen, who comes out here every now and then, you guys would have lost.
No, you're my black friend. You are.
Well, you guys got Joey now, so
One day I'll even know your last name.
you guys would just turn into a peppermint because it would be the white folks, and
Yes.
I don't know. I
I
don't
mean,
want
with Joey, we'd still have a brown friend.
strawberry cheesecake. That's what it would be.
I'm not hungry.
White
Hey,
bread.
you're not. Well then, so yeah, now the thing is, like for me, I have not been following news because like this past week I had a staycation as well too, because it's because like on Friday again, the company that I now work for, last Friday, Good Friday is a company-wide holiday of Spring Holiday. I think it's honestly because of Good Friday as well too. And yeah,
Spring
frankly,
vacation. I mean,
Yeah.
it's good to move away from the Christian terminology because
yes,
turns out not everyone's a Christian.
yes.
I've always.
But,
I used to go to church on Easter at my old white church. Well, it wasn't really a white church. It was actually more ethnically diverse, but they still believe in a lot of bullshit. And for people that are so homophobic, I always thought it was always funny that on Easter everyone dressed so colorfully.
mhm. Speaking of colorful, Gates wearing his
Non-binary.
non-binary strike shirt.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's a belly.
Yeah, that was a belly. Sorry.
You can't see it, but I'm not standing up.
My belly still looks like that of a 15-year-old for some reason.
Hey, accept that as well too. Kirk, the creepy uncle, Cisco, the good dad that inspire your creativity, Patrick, the dad that tells you you're drinking tea wrong, Janeway, the cool auntie that will take you on wild adventures.
And Swana, the quirky '80s mom that we all wanted.
What's her name?
Okay,
Who played Janeway?
Kate Mulgrew.
Kate Mulgrew. She had a lot of problems when they brought on
Jerry Ryan for like
Yep.
7-9.
Because obviously they brought her in to be the woman in the jumpsuit.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
let's face it, Jerry Ryan is a fantastically symmetrical woman.
Yes.
But eventually they did patch up their relationship. She apologized for being a little bit too much second wave feminist, not enough third wave feminist.
Yeah, exactly.
What happened?
Mulgrew treated Jerry Ryan like shit.
Yeah, I heard that part. I know that
But
story.
eventually she did apologize. She realized that it was wrong to target her instead of the people who were bringing her on the show.
Yeah, like Rick Berman. It's honestly Rick Berman that's like probably a lot of the faults as well for like the treatment of the character of like 79 Jerry Ryan as well, because Jerry Ryan had to like be in a skin tight suit that like it was so skin tight for her she would sometimes pass out that they had to have the ventilator on set just in case that she passed out so that they can revive her so they can do.
But it wasn't just tight; it was constrictive.
Yes, exactly.
And what Mulgrew did was blame your fellow victim.
Yeah.
And we shouldn't do that.
It cost Setchin for the rest of the people on
we should
set too.
break out the guillotines for the people in charge.
Yes.
like don't get me wrong, like Deanna Troi looked very like she looked, I mean she was hot even in the pajamas they gave her for the first few but she looked amazing in her.
They put her in a low cut top because Nina Sirtis can wear a low cut top.
No, I was saying later on she looked amazing in her uniform, like her command. So.
Now on the first day,
let's be honest, those uniforms were cut to make Picard and Riker look good too.
Yes, and they're so
cut
tight.
For that V frame, even if the men don't have the V.
Yes, exactly. But the thing is, like, even though Patrick Stewart had to have like back surgery or something like that, or a lot of chiropractic because of how tight those like uniforms and suits were, so you see him constantly going down. It gave him like back issues as well too.
And the reason he kept on having to tug his shirt down is because otherwise he'd be showing off his belly.
Yeah, exactly. So like, yeah, even some like unrealistic like beauty images problems can like happen to men too, like we were saying before, and which also reminds me of like how the Mr. Universe or those kind of like bodybuilder competitions. There's the difference between real muscle where you can actually like do like lift powerful things, something like that, and show muscle as well too. Linda Quinn shared in their Discord.
It's a strength training versus bodybuilding.
Yeah,
bodybuilding,
exactly.
You want to look like a sculptor. Strength training, you're gonna be fat.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, yeah.
The world's strongest man competitions, those guys are as big around as the rocks they're carrying.
Yes, exactly. You get the bigger bellies when you like actually do strength training as well too.
You need a healthy layer of fat if you want to be strong.
Yeah, exactly. Which is why like the not only for like men and women and stuff like that, but the unrealistic beauty standards for like either gender as well too. It's just like it's the reason why it's unrealistic.
But the thing is, the strongest man competitions are also unhealthy.
Yeah.
Like I've been strength training my whole life. Well, since I was about 20. And I got a bad knee, I got a bad shoulder. Because you do repetitive motions, you wear out.
Yep.
And I mean, what you want to be, the best thing you can be is farm tough.
Yeah,
farm strong.
exactly.
You don't want to be big. You just want to. You work all day, yeah, but you want to be able to keep going. You don't want to be big.
Yeah.
And honestly, just anyone listening, when everyone asks women who their sexy superhero is, they don't say Batman. They don't say Superman. They say Spider-Man because he's funny.
Yeah.
I heard the explanation why like women like the funny guys like because they feel safe with him as well too from the funny guy.
Because a funny guy, to be funny, you have to have empathy.
But I think there's like something deeper to that, and like that's a good point. In order to be funny and effectively funny, I mean, as well too, or actually funny.
There's Republican comedians; they suck.
Yes. Oh, yes.
A funny man is more likely to be a gentle man.
But also someone that wants to make someone else laugh. They want to like usually the motive to like want to make someone laugh is to like cheer them up and or help them have a good day.
To be able to make someone laugh, you have to know what makes them laugh.
Yeah,
a funny man is a man who listens.
Yeah, you can't really be an asshole being funny.
Oh, there's people that try.
Tim Allen,
people that try.
Roy Schneider, Rob Schneider.
Who?
Andrew Dice Clay.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Remember him?
And there's some guys who can really, really fake it.
Mhm.
The Me Too guy, the masturbator, Louis C.K.
Oh, Louis C.K. Yeah.
He faked it for years. Joss Whedon.
Yeah. No, yeah. Josh Whedon fakes it with being a nice guy. So again, it's just like
He's
I'm
more
a
a bully
nice
than a
guy.
rapist. He's not a
Yeah.
rapist. He was a bully though.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Might still be for all I know.
Yeah.
Oh, Michelle Trachtenberg died recently.
Oh, I didn't know who that is.
Yeah, that was months ago.
Yeah, she had to have a liver transplant, and I don't know why, some illness, and it didn't.
She had diabetes.
Diabetes. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, diabetes will make your liver work overtime.
Yeah.
She was one of my
Your liver clears out lots of toxins, and if your blood keeps getting flooded with sugar, then it breaks down to ketones that your liver has to process. So yeah, that makes sense.
yeah.
But the transplant didn't take, and
Yeah, that was pretty.
like 45, something like that.
Mm.
Oh, even younger than that. She's younger than me.
Mm.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty sad. I had a huge crush on her back in the day.
Oh, everyone
Euro,
did. Harriet the Spy, badass.
yeah, Euro Trip. Anyone seen Euro Trip?
No.
Oh no, I did not. I remember seeing
She
the
showed up
commercials
raw in
for-
that one.
I see. Yeah. So she was the girl in Europe trip as well too. Yeah, that's kind of like road trip, but like one is girl and it's in Europe, and it's just like okay. I actually did see road trip.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
That was that's why I made the connection with Joss Whedon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still
Harriet
have
the
not
Spy
seen
and Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Gossip Girl are probably her three big pieces. That's her hat trick.
Mm.
Was
Yeah.
it Gossip Girl?
Maybe.
I need to get into seeing Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I never saw it.
I never
It's
saw
a
it
good
either.
show.
I heard nothing but good things about it. I've seen the original movie Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which is very different.
That one was that's fun garbage.
Oh yeah, I agree. Fun garbage. Yes, that's a good way to
They
put it.
took what Whedon was trying to do and they did not do it.
Wait a minute, what's the movie before the TV show? I think the movie was
before the TV show. Somebody saw it and saw what Whedon was trying to do and then offered to let him do what he was trying to do. And then he comes into TV having done nothing but movies before, and the first season was rough. But
yeah.
They get it picks up after that. They have some rocky bits. But
Joss Whedon did wrote the screenplay for like the movie, so that's why
he wrote the original Buffy, and that's why he was in charge of the show. Is because he'd always wanted to do something like that, and
yeah, he also did wrote the screenplay for like Aliens 4, and that was pretty much like a backwards pilot for
Aliens Resurrection.
Yes, Aliens 4, Aliens Resurrection, because and that turned
he
was
was a
kind of like
script doctor for years. He basically wrote Speed with Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock. That's why it's full of quips and sexy.
Oh yeah. Actually, the movie Speed, the first one, solid movie, solid action movie as well too.
Then they did Speed on a boat.
They did Speed on a boat. It's called Cruise Control, and it's just like it has Willem Dafoe in it, and I like Willem Dafoe, but it's just like
he has a beautiful face.
He does have a very symmetrical face as well too. But like,
it's not because he's symmetrical. He's aged into a very interesting looking person. His face is a maze. You can look at it.
He also looks crazy as hell.
He has Green Goblin when he grins.
Yes, he was. I love in the a parody song that Weird Al Yankovic wrote. It's "Ode to Spider-Man" in tune to "Ode to the Piano Man," Bojo's Piano Man. And yes, he looks stupid in that Power Ranger mask, but he is scarier without it on.
Oh man! And he played Horny Jesus back in the 70s?
90s, I think. It's like Last Temptation in Christ, like directed by Martin Scorsese, and like also stars, of course, with Martin Scorsese. He stars like damn it, I forgot. Harvey Keitel, yes.
Harvey Keitel has another very symmetrical, but he's aged
face.
well.
Yes. 88 was the Last Temptation of Christ. I still say the Last Temptation of Christ. Hey, it's Easter. Like recommendation for Easter Jesus movies in case you're interested in Jesus.
Horny
movies.
Jesus.
Horny Jesus with Last Temptation of Christ. The end all be all of like a Jesus movie. It is 2 hours.
Ten Commandments.
Horny Jesus, and because it was a young Willem Dafoe, sexy Jesus.
Hey, yes, this is actually Jesus, honestly.
I do not recommend To Live or Die in L.A.
Oh, okay.
I mean, because Joss Whedon referenced it, I thought it was supposed to be this impossibly good classic. It's a cop movie.
Isn't that like
it's
NWA songs?
Maybe.
Come on, that's of cops dying in L. That's
fuck the police.
Yeah. Oh, okay. The MDA, fuck the police.
It'll be a bloodbath of cops dying in L.A. Yeah, I got something to say. Fuck the police.
Live and die in L.A. from. Ooh, I got. So your black friend knows nothing about hip hop. There you go.
Oh, that's okay.
I can actually rap part of that song. I won't because it has the N word a lot.
Yes, and don't worry. It's all right. We're not.
No, I don't say the N word that much. So
and that's fine. We're not asking you to say it either.
And I'm not allowed to.
Yes, exactly.
Not even when I'm alone in the car. Elmo.
Yes, exactly. Not even if you're alone and no one else can hear you. No, you can't just say the N word privately. And if you do,
you don't want to say. You don't want to think it.
Yes,
not even one of your favorite songs playing.
As I remember, I was talking to someone at like the bar, and like a coworker dropped the T word rhymes with granny for trans women as well too, and it's like, no, don't say that word. It's like, oh come on, we're just like, hey, who's around here is actually trans? It's like that doesn't matter. You don't say it. Oh come on, it's privately. I say the N word. It's like, and I judge you for doing that. Don't do it.
Is he? Well, I mean,
I spent 30 minutes talking to this guy about that, and this is not the only yikes takes as this guy has as well too. He also like said, "Oh, I'm going to have this like mayonnaise as a type of beer, or is this identified as mayonnaise?" I don't think I was out then as like non-binary or not, but like around then as well too. I did not like this person for like that and many other takes as well too. So that's some people.
And now, if you look at the stream, you can see the meme I was trying to reference.
But if Elmo is just singing along Elmo's famous song, can Elmo say it then?
And you'll notice that he's talking to two black puppets.
Yes, it's just like
heavily melanized puppets.
Yes. So another recommendation for a Jesus movie with I'll have bring some caveats to this movie. I've watched parts of it like recently. Because like the NLBO Jesus movies, Last Temptation of Christ, it is 2 hours and 44 minutes. So prepare for that. I thought the pacing was well.
Mel Gibson, anti-Semitism.
No. Last Temptation of Christ is like Martin Scorsese, the good Jesus movie.
Oh no. Oh yeah. What's the Mel Gibson one? Passion of the Christ.
Yeah.
Yes, Jesus Chainsaw Massacre. I always call it Jesus Chainsaw Massacre, and
it's murder porn. It's 90 minutes of murder porn.
It's I've seen it, and I would have liked it more, but just like it's 50% of that movie should have been cut. Honestly, it's not the 50% of him being beaten up as well too. No, each one of those scenes can be cut by half, and then it'll be a much better paced movie.
You're supposed to enjoy the suffering.
Yeah,
I'm being serious when I say it's murder porn. Yeah. It's pornography. It's Christian pornography.
Yes, exactly.
But Jesus died for that was a like if you understand the story of it so much, it's like wow, like dude, your God's a dick. You sent your son to be tortured, bro. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yes.
You couldn't have just done it yourself. It's like, oh, they're all.
I mean, he's literally God. He's in control of everything. He could have done whatever he wanted. And but the universe is broken. So God needs blood sacrifice, but the only blood that has enough magic is his. So he gave himself a body by raping it into a 14-year-old girl and then killing it.
Yes, in some versions of it, he's basically actually does have a body, and actually it does have sex with Mary, who's a very, very young girl. Yes, and like, but also, remember, Old Testament God. Oh my God, Old Testament God is so vengeful and so spiteful.
Well, the thing is, Old Testament God goes back and forth. Sometimes he is the gentle, wise grandfather. Sometimes he wades through rivers of blood, because
That's why the Zionists don't-
pre-Judaism, the pre-brews were they were polytheistic. Their older god was the wise godfather, the wise kind grandfather. And then they had a god of war named Yahweh. And he is the one who weighs the rivers of blood. So the reason it seems schizophrenic is because they had to cut a lot of shit out of their books.
So they just merged a couple of characters as well. Well,
Yep.
Gene Roddenberry split some characters, like the Bible writers merged some characters as well too. They retconned a few things as well too.
So
makes
El
sense of why-
Elyon was the godfather, the grandfather, and Yahweh was the god of war. And then later on, you get El Abba Yahweh. You know, it's the two.
He's the god of rock. He's the god of rock.
Yeah.
God of rocks, anyway. I mean, have you seen
no
Israel?
wonder-
There's a lot of rocks.
Well, no wonder like religious is so like interesting in some ways. I should say.
Thousands of years of history there. It's fucked up.
Religion is interesting in a way because it's like, cause see, like there's so much history. Like I like art a lot, and there's a lot of religious art, but but see, I can separate the religious part from the art part. That's what I can like. How did Michelangelo?
Yeah, the 60 chapter was Michelangelo.
Yeah,
The orange turtle.
yeah, because it's like how I've always wanted to know what he was thinking when he was painting this.
He wanted
He
to
was
make
thinking,
this.
I'm
He definitely
horny.
wanted
I'm
this.
basing this on a guy
Yes.
I'm having sex with.
Yes. Honestly, I think that's what Michelangelo. He's just like horny, one for painted.
Oh, no,
people,
they're
so-
not trying to touch fingers. They're trying to touch penises. They want to die.
I honestly think that's what's with some of those like Renaissance like painters, sculptors, and like artists as well too. When they paint naked people, they're just horny, and like it's kudos to them.
I mean,
That's off to them.
Any excuse, right?
Yeah, any excuse.
People want
And now
porn, and if it's religious, then it's good porn. It's
There are
legal.
some smutty parts of the Bible. Honestly, there are really smutty parts of the Bible.
Although
and it's like-
Michelangelo is shortchanged, David. No, he got a small penis.
it's not the size, it's how you use it.
But the thing is, that's actually going back to ancient Greece, because
Yeah.
that was the ideal.
Right.
Those pederasts were weirdos.
Yeah.
They thought the ideal penis was basically an 8-year-old boy. So that's why all them Greek sculptures, all the classical Renaissance sculptures, tiny.
Yeah. It says not only Michelangelo's David, because he is the sculpture David, also like the other turtle, Donatello, the Renaissance person Donatello, just like happens to be the name of the purple turtle as well. So also has like his own
Donatello,
David
the
as-
boring turtle. You can say it.
Yes, the boring turtle.
I'm science. I got a stick.
Hey, his bow set was quite effective in the first video game because it's
It was
super
the only
long.
way you could get past that fucking sewer level, because it's the only one that could strike through the floor when those guys are jumping.
Yeah, exactly.
Otherwise, you're stuck. You die. The game sucked.
Yeah,
Nintendo, my
it's-
ass.
Yes, the second turtle game on the Nintendo was like better because it was a part of the arcade game.
Yep.
The first arcade game, and then the second arcade game was also awesome, Turtles in Time, and that became the port of the Super Nintendo game.
It gets chilly in Greece. Well, I wouldn't say cold.
That's a fair point, Mithril. Yes. I also want to mention this since we mentioned Last Temptation of Christ. Again, I think the second old Beal Jesus movie is Monty Python's Life of Brian, because like if you gotta have sexy, horny Jesus in Last Temptation of Christ, have funny Jesus in Life of Brian as well too. Even though like
Funny accidental Jesus.
yes, funny accidental Jesus. That makes it so awesome as well too.
No,
There's
don't
some-
listen to me. Go home. Yes, tell us more.
I'm not Messiah. I'm not the Messiah. He who denies his like sanctity is thus the most sacred. That's impossible. If that's then how can no one win? All right, then I am the Messiah. He is
is.
Messiah. No, go.
Oh, it's so disappointing that John Cleese.
Oh yeah, and Terry Gilliam.
Yeah.
They're pieces of shit.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
call John Well, I call him John Cheese.
He was the writer for the Cheese Shop. The interesting thing, you can tell if it's a John Cleese written script he wrote
Honestly,
worked with like Grant Chaplin, because of like
he's an old man.
Well, he's an old man, so there's that.
What has he said? Oh God, what has he said?
Me Too's gone too far.
He has said that, yes.
He's not like Sean Connery. He said it's not the worst thing in the world to hit a woman. He's just said Me Too went too far.
Yeah,
he's wrong.
He also,
I want to make that clear.
okay.
Yeah, he's wrong. John Cleese also is like a fan of Brexit because too many brown people in the UK. I think he said
I
something
didn't know
to
that.
effect.
Ooh.
Yeah, I could be corrected on that, but I think he said something along that. So like he's a bit of a Brexiteer because he's an old white man. He was so good at playing those upper crust twits that he played on like Button and Flying Circus because he becomes one of those upper crust twits. Yeah, just like Ricky Gervais. He's not acting for Ricky Gervais. He's just always an asshole.
John Cheese.
Have you seen the funeral of one of the gay one?
Grant Chapman.
Grant
Yeah,
Chapman.
Grant Chapman. Yeah,
That is a beautiful funeral.
Yes,
it's hilarious.
Yes, John Cleese does a good thing there of like delivering a good like sermon for his friend Grant Chapman who died.
But it turns out he's an old white guy.
John Cleese is an old white guy, and Terry Gilliam. I think I trust Dave Futrell on We Hunted the Mammoth, but I saw a headline from his that Terry Gilliam says like, if men can identify as women, then I can identify as a attack helicopter. So Terry Gilliam, great artist as a director, but horrible person. I'll say that as well too.
And I guess now I'll never get to watch Boys in Brazil. Boys from Brazil.
Thoughts?
It's just Brazil.
So thoughts on the all-female private space flight?
It's cool for them. I'm
glad they get that opportunity. Bezos is never going to out-Musk because Bezos isn't a stupid crazy person.
No. I've watched videos like about it that have been mostly kind of negative. Based on but I did like try to compare Katy Perry's reaction to it versus William Shatner's reaction to it when he did his flight.
Well, the problem is Shatner got interrupted by Musk. He might have done okay.
Yeah,
he tried to do the Neil Armstrong thing.
Well, the thing with Shatner was legit like freaked out about how space like legit looked. Maybe, and I think some of that was because like he's actually seeing space for the first time and not through a television show, so it has a different reaction.
I mean, but like I said, he was trying to do the Neil Armstrong thing. I don't know how genuine it would have been. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. It probably was an amazing experience, but I think he had definitely prepared for it.
Yeah. And Jordan Trapeze said, like, Katy Perry make me roll my eyes, though. And so I was like, I don't know. So
I mean, Katy Perry...
She's a beautiful
Maybe
white woman.
It's because she played such a sweet character on How I Met Your Mother. But
I never.
It's white feminism. That's what it's white feminist capitalism. That's all you need. That's all you really need to know about the whole thing.
The Margot movie, the Barbie movie with Robbie. Let's be honest, it's the Margot movie. But I mean,
the Margot,
she's a product of her circumstances. I think she does the best she can. I think she hasn't. Well, no, I won't say she's done the best she can. She's done a bit, and she could do better. She has a lot of money. She could do a lot. She probably ain't gonna. And I don't blame her any more than I blame Britney Spears or the sex tape girl.
Paris Hilton.
Paris Hilton. It's.
I don't put them much stock into like them. It's kind of so. Here's the thing: like during the election, people were like criticizing Chapel Rome because like she says like something affected like Harris and Trump are the same and so on like that, and so basically she wasn't going to endorse
it. But she ain't quite
right. I agree. Yeah, exactly. And
but it's like the celebrities speaking. Shut up and dance. Shut up and play basketball.
Right, exactly. And it's like to which Robert M's reaction to that, like all he heard was like people are giving her shit because like she wasn't going to endorse Kamala Harris. To which he said, "Do we need a celebrity's endorsement of like a president in order to get us to vote for a president?"
What's her name? Southern blonde girl did it. Dancy
Oh,
Dancy
the
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift, yes.
I just remember the whole Chapel Rowan thing is that I saw the video that she made about it, and then I saw Bill Maher try to talk about
Oh,
it.
fuck Bill Maher. That
No, no, no.
Oh, fuck Bill Maher, yes.
Yeah, well, yeah, but hold on, because Chapel does a lot of like queer themed stuff, and Bill Maher was trying to say, well, you can't don't be sympathetic to Palestinians because they all hate queer people, so we have to genocide Palestinians because they hate gays, and that's what Bill Maher was trying to say as a white Jewish.
I have read the story of a gay woman who got a job in Jerusalem and was treated like shit. There was no, you should live here because we'll treat the queers better here, but they don't. Israel is a far right wing homophobic state.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, that's the lie they're trying to say. They're trying to use the lies of
No, of course
liberalism.
they'll do anything they can to sell us Israel.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they said about black men too. Like,
Mhm.
black men were gonna rape white women, and that's
It wasn't about bathrooms then. It's not about bathrooms now.
Yeah.
that's why I had to like unfriend people who were trying to like, there were people that were trying to like say that Native Americans were still like savages in 2025. Like there's still people who have that fucking belief out there. It's pretty like I've never encountered people like that. So I was like, wow. Oh shit. There's people who like still think like people are savages out there. I thought. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I thought that.
We have two of them in the White House.
I thought
They both
that,
bald.
I thought that belief died out long a time ago.
Nope.
I guess it didn't.
Yep, that because like so long as there's like kind of fascist, white supremacists, something like that, they're going to think that like Western cultures are superior than other cultures. It's like, okay, shut up, you.
Yeah.
Shut up, you whitey.
I did not think people were still that shitty. God damn.
Joe Rogan is that shitty.
Yeah, Joe Rogan is that shitty. Bitsro says, fun fact: the first like Israel winner of the Eurovision like song contest was a trans woman.
Why is Israel in Eurovision?
That's a good point.
Yeah, they're not even in Europe, even like geographically speaking.
Because they're white.
Yep, that's it. There's guys are white. I'm sure
You
Australia.
know who has the largest skin bank in the world? A skin bank is a bank full of skin.
Okay.
Samples of skin for transplants.
Oh.
Israel has the largest skin bank in the world because they keep getting skin cancer because they're not native to Palestine.
Interesting. Huh?
Makes
Palestinians
sense.
don't get skin cancer like that.
You don't get skin cancer like that.
So yeah, Israelis are white, except when the
They're
hammer comes
European
down,
Jews.
the white supremacists. Jews have always had a very on and off relationship with whiteness.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because there are Jewish people in Palestine. There are Palestinian Jewish people. Are they accepted in Israel? Hell no, because they're Palestinian.
Well, look at how many African Jews there are that aren't accepted into Israel either.
Nope.
The
Yep.
Ethiopians.
There's
the
a
Ethiopians.
huge Jewish community in Ethiopia.
Yeah. The
I mean,
Ethiopians.
that Moses' wife was Ethiopian for a reason.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to emphasize their connection with Ethiopia. But no, they don't get to be Jewish because they're brown.
So,
Yeah, well, yeah, and that's kind of the same thing with the history of Christianity with black folks. It's the AME church got founded because black folks weren't allowed to worship in the white churches, so we had to make our own church. So
I want to remember exactly what Taffy said because like her parents are those kind of people, parents as well too. And then like why also Taffy does not talk to them as well too. But like there was like such a like very white thing, like one like one of them said about the black churches as well too. And I just can't remember right now. So it's like it points for me to bring up because like I can't remember a thing I want to share, but like it reminded me of something funny, but I can't share it, so like people cannot share in that. Anyway, I'm rambling now. Towards the end of the show, anyway.
You're
And
rambling? That is so unexpected.
you know what? Yeah, it's so weird that I'm rambling.
Next thing you know, you're going to sing badly.
I almost closely did that to like just show as well too. And I recognize like no, I should not sing because I can't carry a tune as well too. Anyway,
I'm trying to find a place to launch my rockets at. That's close to the beach, but
Okay, that's not a terrorism thing. He's talking about model rockets.
yes.
I was imagining that's what people thought I meant, but I guess not.
I say it's WMDs.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Isaiah, speaking of which, is there anything you want to promote, like any of your projects you want to promote, or is just like your Instagram
You got your
cosplay
Insta,
crafts?
you got your other channel, you got your rockets.
Yeah,
Model rockets.
Yeah, just that stuff, and I think and in May, end of May, I'm gonna try to sell my first my first kit. So
Okay, nice for your like Etsy store for model ships that you sell.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Isaiah, Metro says anywhere close to the U.S. Army base. Isaiah, that's where you can launch your rockets. The U.S. Army bases.
Well, there's a little what like because I'm trying to like replicate that whole launching near the water what they actually do with the rockets. So
Oh yes.
I'm just afraid it's either gonna go into the water or
Mm.
yeah.
Well, yeah, that's an environmental concern. If they like land in the water and something like that, then like other
Yeah,
animals will
or
look at them.
trees and shit.
Right. But I also want to point out that like FYI, our friend Shaban, who was like in there in the channel with us, is like or Siobhan or Siobhan, that she is now streaming on like her second YouTube channel, the Existential Cafe and Gaming, as well as like her second like a Twitch channel, as well as the Existential Cafe and Gaming as well too. So both of the links are there in the live chat right now. Like she is live right now. She has the gaming the title from like yesterday, gaming with like SWTRO, the Star Trek: The Old Republic, Star Wars: The Old Republic, and like Sable. But I think she's like playing like the games that she was mentioning before as well too, Genesis something as well too. Joey, anything to promote as well too, other than like general human kindness?
Nope, just peace on Earth.
All right, charity links on page.
We're the U.S. government. We don't do that sort of thing.
We are not the U.S. government. We're not in the U.S. government. We're not white
I was
supremacists.
quoting
bunch
the
of
movie Sneakers. At the end, somebody asks a guy from the NSA to give them. All he wants is peace on Earth and goodwill toward men. And then James Earl Jones says in his most James Earl Jones voice, "We're the U.S. government. We don't do that sort of thing."
That's true. Yes.
I love James. Let me some JL. I sometimes get him and John Paul Jones confused. The old Navy commander from the Revolutionary War.
Yes.
Better than
That's
getting
a-
nicknames with James Earl Ray.
Oh,
James Earl Ray
yeah.
was the white supremacist who probably killed Martin Luther King Jr.
Oh yeah.
MLK's son actually, I think, cleared him of that.
It's complicated.
Mm.
Basically, there's so little real information. The racist cops, the racist government.
Mhm.
It,
The FBI.
it's basically a conspiracy theory one way or the other.
Yeah. Anyway, we're ending the show. So like, I am Summer and Geek. Summer and Geek on like
I definitely think there was a conspiracy to kill him.
The FBI wanted him dead, and they had
Yes,
an undercover cop.
yeah.
The guy holding the handkerchief to his neck after he got shot was a cop.
because they knew it was happening.
Yep.
But anyway, I'm Summer Geek on Tumblr, Threads, like Blue Sky, Twitter, on YouTube, posting some shorts and videos on my YouTube channel still, and on Twitch. After I get off the call and like eat something and going to stream on Twitch. I rolled the dice. The dice decided to I play Stardew Valley again. So look, play Stardew Valley again, doing some voice acting for the game and just relaxing as I play the game. And John Brockman, you're part of another podcast, aren't you?
Dungeons and Debacles. We might even be playing today. I do not know.
Yes.
Our DM is Hillbilly Gandalf. And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yes. Don't forget
I
that.
will replace my cop with a cat.
Yes. Cats are better than cops. You know, all cats are beautiful. All cops are bastards.
Oh, I was going to say that. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Love y'all.